All right, everyone. So as we approach summer vacation, I thought this would be a good time to share some tips for organizing Google Drive. Most of us, myself included, probably didn't start off with the quote-unquote best practices for naming conventions and folder structure when we started working in Google Drive a few years ago. Um, Over the years, I have organized my Google Drive as I went along, and in this demo, we'll go over a few tips that you can do to start organizing Google Drive. Not all of these will work for you and your preferences, but your organization really boils down to what works for you, your personal preferences, and your organizational techniques. First thing is folder structure. So if you have a lot of uncategorized slideshows or docs, the first thing to do would be to figure out how to categorize them and then organize folders and move those files to those folders. So let's take a quick look at something like this. So I have a Google Apps folder, and in case you didn't know, the little person on it indicates that these files and folders are all shared with other users. And essentially, I have all my Google Apps for Education topics and categories organized into these folders. So under the Slides folder, there's some slideshows. Under the Docs folder, there's more folders and more documents. So to create a new folder, you simply need to click the New button, select Folder, give the folder a name, and then to move files, you can simply click multiple files using the Shift or Control key. Control key allows you to jump around and bypass any files, and then you can click those files and drag them to that new folder. It's going to warn me now that I'm moving it to a shared folder, but in this case it's still okay. And then you have a little time to click the undo button to undo any of the actions you just did. So another thing to consider is the naming convention of your files. Now, admittedly, this would be a tedious task to go through all of your docs and folders and rename them, but you can certainly start off naming files that are intuitive to you from here on out. So you can consider adding a date to the name or maybe a school year as well to help you organize. So if you decide to rename any files, a simple right-click and rename allows you to do so. So for example, if I right-click this file, I have the option to rename it, and I can go ahead and rename this file. And there you go. So another feature of Google Drive that I just started working with this year was the color coding of my folders. To do this, you would just basically right-click on any of your files and select Change Color, and then change the file color. So essentially, I've created a color scheme that kind of works for me, and so far I've been happy with it. But you kind of got to work with what your preferences are and your style in organizing Drive. Maybe color coding doesn't really do anything for you. Right now I'm still kind of up in the air about it, but it's a cool feature, and I think it was worth sharing. Right now I'm getting used to it, and so far I think I do like it. All right, so finally, another thing to talk about is organizing any files, docs, or slideshows that are shared with you, and you can right-click those files and move them to your own Google Drive. So let me go to my Shared With Me folder, and I have this PDF right here, and I can right-click on this, and I can select Add to My Drive, and then when I do this, I can actually organize it now, and then choose where this PDF file or any file essentially needs to go. So I can select the folder that it would need to go to, and then it would be in there. So I can move that, and it'll still appear in my Shared With Me folder because this indicates all files that are shared with me. But if I go to my Drive account and I click on that K5 folder, that PDF will be found there. One other thing to talk about is maybe you haven't seen this, or you've accidentally clicked this and you don't know how to get back to one of your viewing preferences in Google Drive. You have a couple options with the viewing preferences. You have the list view like you see here, and then you have the grid view by clicking these four squares. And then you have all your folders in the grid view. So I like list view, so I'm going to go back to that. And then another option is sorting, and you can sort your files by last modified by you, or last opened by you. And then one last thing to take a look at, which is a pretty cool feature, is the info button. So if I click on that Google Apps folder and I click the little eye icon, I can view the details and I can see what activity has occurred. So in this demo, you saw that I just renamed this file, and you can also see that I just moved these 3 items as well. And then you can also see some of the details of the folder. So I'm the owner, and then you can see when things were modified and when the folder was also created. So I hope you learned something new by taking a look at this video about organizing Google Drive. Hope it was helpful. Thanks for checking it out. Have a great day.